Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video of Next to Bo's Ultimate. Ooh, sorry, throat super sore today. Don't know why. I mean, it's sore, but it's more scratchy. Anyways, it's not what I'm here to talk about. As you can see from the title of the video, this video is mainly for people who don't know what could be coming up next for the MCU after Endgame. Actually, just about a week ago, I was talking to one of my friends, from Florida, so I'm gonna say, we were talking about MCU and whatever, and they really didn't expect much else to happen after Endgame, so I'm just basically gonna go down, and I mean, I've even seen people talk about that beforehand. Like, I've talked to actually multiple friends about how they didn't really expect much else to come out, even like with people who are very supportive about the MCU, who they even said I didn't really expect them to do much else with the MCU after Endgame. But I actually went on and I talked to them about it, and I even spit a few things out, but I just kind of gave a list. I tried to narrow it down to 15 things. I managed to get a little bit more than that, maybe 16, 17 things. I have a list right beside me, of course. So I'm gonna show you. So if you see me looking down at all, that's probably why, so I can go onto this list. But as we're going on, I think I know what I'm gonna title this video. Not sure yet, but anyways, like I said, if you're a Marvel fan, like if you read the comics and whatnot, let me know what you thought of some of this stuff. If you think it will happen inside the MCU. If you don't think it will happen, because honestly, besides from Star Wars, even at that though, Marvel is the only thing that actually has Disney going for itself right now. Well, yes, everyone has Disney Plus. Why do you think a big reason what people have Disney Plus for? Because of Marvel and because of Star Wars. Everything else is just kinda there. Like, for instance, people who are going to be fans of the mutant things, whatever, like the X-Men, and they go, oh, X-Men 97, I love that, I can't believe they're going to be bringing that back. Oh, wait, it's going to be part of the MCU, that's cool. I don't really get too much into the MCU stuff, but they have the original series on Disney Plus, let's do that. Like, I guarantee you, if it wasn't for that, and they stopped after Endgame, the MCU stopped after Endgame, which, yeah, Endgame, which I think a lot of Marvel fans wouldn't be pleased at very much, then I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's this whole video basically for you people who don't expect much to come after the MCU, to just sit down, enjoy it, and just listen to me take notes. Like, I don't know. Yeah, so just enjoy, and maybe you'll learn something, maybe not, maybe you knew some of this stuff but you just kind of go, I don't really want that. Also, spoilers for She-Hulk for one of the things, and everything else MCU, if the only thing you have seen really is the only thing you've seen is the Avengers movies, then I don't know what you're doing. Go back and watch the other shit, and then at some point, maybe in the year 2026, right before Secret Wars, I don't fucking know. This video might not blow up. This video might blow up. I don't know. Hopefully, if you don't know anything about the MCU, or I'm sorry, that you know about the MCU, but you don't know too much about the comic books, this video will teach you some, and then you can go back, you can read the stuff in the comic books, and then you can go, oh, I know what that kid is talking about. So anyways, let's just get straight into this video. Okay, guys, so first thing I want to say, number one, I'm just going to start it off now. It's Wonder Man and Nova Disney Plus series. So there are rumors going around that Nova will finally be able to have his MCU appearance, and it'll be in the form of a Disney Plus show. Now, once again, with other rumors going around, a lot of them, it's kind of a rumor, kind of not. I don't know, I've seen this being thrown out here and there, but it's Wonder Man Disney Plus series. We could be getting a Wonder Man Disney Plus series. It could be a part of Phase 6 before Secret Wars. I think Secret Wars is going to be the thing that will cap off Phase 6, kind of, sort of, or I don't know. It'll be basically the 6th Avengers film. So there's going to be that, but I don't really know if they're just going to end it off there. Once again, I don't think they will, because I think there's a lot more capabilities for different Avengers movies for them to do. And one of the things I think they could build up for is a Nova and Wonder Man series. I haven't read Wonder Man's first Avengers appearance yet. I don't know if his first appearance wasn't in the Avengers or wasn't. I don't know. Once again, people who read the comics, let me know down below. But it went on, and he did this whole thing with the Avengers. And I believe he's even a part of the Avengers from like 60s, 70s, 80s, maybe even 90s. I know Nova is a technical Avenger. I know he's part of the Champions, which I really haven't read too much into that, so I don't know too much about it. So there is that. And I know part of the Champions is with Ironheart, and that's one of the things I left off this list is Champions. But once again, I only round it down to like 16, 17 things, like maybe 18 things, because I just added one like off camera right before I started talking about this. Anyway, so I know Nova's a part of that. And he was also a technical part of the Defenders and the Ultimate Spider-Man series with like Luke Cage and White Tiger and whatnot. So there's that. But honestly, I don't really know too much else besides from the series for both of them. I think a Disney Plus series for Wonder Man and Nova would be one of the cooler things for us to get, because I don't think we really need a movie for them. I think we got a Disney Plus series, and because Disney Plus series can go deeper, like in depth with the character. I mean, I like Eternals, but it's not like the top 10 MCU movies. Like, it's probably my third favorite movie out of Phase 4, third or fourth, I don't know, but that's just like out of Phase 4 for movies. Like, it's either my third one, maybe fourth one, depending on how Black Panther Wakanda Forever is in November. You could be watching this in December, so if you are, or after this movie, or after Wakanda Forever came out, then hey, I don't know fucking anything about that, so go on. Like, I don't know about that. So there's that. Like, I could be wrong, could say Wakanda Forever is like one of my top 10 favorite movies, but I don't know. Just like I said, Disney Plus is better out to go than movie. So for Nova and Wonder Man, definitely, especially for people who don't know the characters, like, they're still going to be a part of the MCU. It's just a matter of, like, would you rather have them on Disney Plus and have weeks of build up in advance so people can get used to the characters, or would you have them inside the movies and have people know who they are, but they don't really get to know too much about them? So that's why I think Wonder Man Nova is better off to have a Disney Plus series than they do movie, which I think it's very depressing, because even after Endgame I was like, hey, there's going to be a Nova movie, but I don't know. It's just not gonna happen. Next thing up is Galactus. So for you people out there who thought there was nothing big after Endgame, like, what's next? Like, I think everyone knew about Galactus at some point. Like, that was everyone's prediction. I think a reason why a lot of people believe that Endgame could have been the last is because we didn't get a post-credit scene. And I guarantee you, if we got a post-credit scene with Galactus, like, even just his sides of his helmet, I think that would have got people talking. And it's like, oh wow, they can actually still carry this. So for those of you people who don't think Galactus is going to be a part of the MCU, then what the fuck are you smoking? Like, I would want some, because holy shit, that is the stupidest thing I would have ever heard. Like, I've been calling Galactus inside the MCU since, like, after fucking Infinity War. Like, because Infinity War was when I knew that the Marvel Cinematic Universe was the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I thought that it was just movies coming together, because that was that. Like, I didn't, in my child brain, I didn't know that it wasn't all these different movies, like Fantastic Four and the Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield movies and whatnot. Like, I didn't think about that. So when I was making my Infinity War character list predictions, I'm like, oh yeah, Captain Marvel, because that's a big rumor going around, because that's just what I knew at that time. I didn't really know too much about it besides from the movies and the TV shows, and that's about it. I knew some stuff about the comics, but I really didn't. So ever since after Infinity War, I was even saying, hey, it's fucking Galactus is going to be the villain of Endgame. Like, that was even a rumor whenever the toys were coming out, because there was a thing on the back of a package for like a Thor Rock Raccoon 2 pack and of them and their quantum realm suits, and it was like, hey, for a greater threat that is to approach, which of course it was just a past version of Thanos, still badass, don't get me wrong, second favorite MCU movie, second favorite movie of all time. But I think, like, knowing the fact that we could have had our first appearance of Galactus or another appearance of Thanos, and looking back on it, it would have been cool if we gotten Galactus instead of Thanos, but hey, I love Thanos. Thanos is my favorite supervillain, so I can't really argue with that. But dude, Galactus, I think, was a lot of people's predictions, even for post-credit scene stuff, that that would have been the thing, you know. So there's that. But the next thing I kind of want to talk about goes into Galactus, and I know that the Galactus part was more or less like, hey, it's Infinity War, Endgame prediction, whatnot, but Galactus, even Kevin Feige said, was going to be the next big bad Phase 5, Phase 6, which I think people knew about. I'm sorry, Phase 4 and Phase 5, I don't think anyone knew that Phase 6 was going to be a fucking thing till they announced at San Diego Comic-Con this year. But Kevin Feige went on, was like, yeah, the next big bad, Phase 4 and Phase 5. I'm like, that's cool. Hey, because I even looked at my grandma, and I'm like, hey, they just said about Galactus being part of the MCU. I think she knew what I was talking about. I don't know, she likes Iron Man. That's the closest you can get her to Marvel, is by, like, the movies and maybe the comic books, but depending on what era. But the next thing I want to talk about is something that just came out, I believe, yesterday today, and that is a Silver Surfer Disney Plus presentation. So the thing just came out, and I just watched it today, and it was about Silver Surfer potentially having a Disney Plus presentation. Look at Werewolf by Night. Werewolf by Night was a Marvel Studios special presentation, and it was for, like, just Werewolf by Night and Man-Thing and also Bloodstone. Those are like the top 3 new characters I think everyone was hyped for, but you didn't have to watch the other movies. I think one of the things that I will explain later on with Werewolf by Night, it'll make sense, because it's one of, if not the first thing that I always point to whenever someone says, I really didn't have much hope after Endgame, and even right now I don't know where they could go. I can name about 10 different team ups off of my hand, you know. But anyway, I got Werewolf by Night. That was a Marvel presentation, and right now they're talking about the next big presentation being a Silver Surfer one, so we can go more in depth with the character, and we can learn about like his history and whatnot, because a rumor is going around that the villain of the Silver Surfer presentation is going to be Galactus, and is also rumored that Silver Surfer is going to be the hail to Galactus by that point. So then also was talking from someone, I forgot who it was, but they went on, they said, hey, like, this is going to be a Marvel presentation, like, this is going to be a full show thing, so it's probably going to be in Phase 5, Phase 6, maybe it might be the first thing in Phase 6, actually, because look at Werewolf by Night, they never really said anything until D23, so on technicality, it is a part of Phase 4, because we are ending off Phase 4 on Wakanda Forever, so anything before the last movie, unless if they say, hey, we're pushing it back and replacing it with something else, but if they don't say that, it's gonna be it's part of this phase, so it could possibly be, the first thing of Phase 6, because they did say, hey, you have to watch the Silver Surfer presentation before you go on and you watch the Fantastic Four movie. So, if you are going to go see a Fantastic Four movie in the future in the theaters, gotta watch that first, because that's also one of the other things I always point to, is there was rumors going around to Endgame saying that Paul Bettany was going to be playing the Silver Surfer, and it was going to be an Endgame, because, once again, the whole talks about Galactus and whatever. So, I think, in my opinion, because you can have multiple characters play multiple different roles inside the MCU, like a Benedict Cumberbatch, he not only plays Doctor Strange, he also voices Dormammu in that, so we could see Paul Bettany as a Silver Surfer. I think that would be great. As of right now, I don't know who's going to be playing Silver Surfer. I don't know if they technically announced that, because, of course, Marvel themselves didn't announce it yet, but they went on and talked about that. I mean, they didn't go on and talk about that yet, so who knows, it could be San Diego Comic-Con after Thunderbolts come out. It could be San Diego Comic-Con next year, when they could be talking about that lineup, or, because, no, not even at that, because we did get the Quantumania, Ant-Man Wasp Quantumania trailer. If you haven't watched that, go check that out yet to come back to this video. Anyway, or after this video, I don't care when, but we just got that today, and that's going to come out in, like, February, so it might be, like, 2024, I want to say, is when we could be getting talks and whatnot about that with Silver Surfer. So I don't know, like, nonetheless, that's going to be like the technical thing to start out in the MCU timeline, but they wouldn't announce at like SDCC or D23. Could be even at D23 in 2024 is when they could announce it, or even drop a trailer for it. Probably announce it, and then 2025 D23 they would drop a trailer for it, probably, because that's what they did with Werewolf by Night. So who knows? It also depends on when Fantastic Four is coming out, because I forget, but I think it's in 2025 or 2026, one of the two. No, sequel was 2026, Fantastic Four was 2025. Anyways, next up, speaking of Wars and Avengers films, Eternity War. Eternity War is a storyline inside the comic books, and there are rumors going around that Kevin Feige has the next 2 sagas planned out. I forget what the other saga was, but I know this saga that is rumored, so of course it's not announced yet, but it will probably be by the time we get done with Phase 6 in 2026, and could be seeing like late 2026, early 2027 maybe, the next saga, and it could be the Eternity Saga, and Eternity War will be the big Avengers film in that saga. And Eternity War is like, okay, so, spoilers for Thor Love and Thunder, if you haven't seen that yet, what the hell are you doing? It was great, go watch that. But we did get Eternity's first appearance inside the MCU, so there's that, and I know he plays a role in it. I forget how though, because whenever it comes to Eternity is a cosmic entity, going back to the whole Galactus thing, Eternity is a cosmic entity, so we're almost guaranteed Galactus inside the MCU, but Eternity doesn't go on and have to deal with Galactus. I think because Galactus is a form of a cosmic entity, that it's somewhat confusing, but it's not really confusing. Like, it's more confusing to explain to someone who doesn't know what that is than it is to someone who knows what a cosmic entity is. I don't know. Anyway, so there is that. So in the Eternity Wars book, Once again, I believe Eternity did play a part in that, but the main villain of that was the One Above All. If you do not know who the One Above All is, once again, go to your local comic book shop, see if they have the Eternity War trade-in. If not, and if you're from that area, I'm pretty sure they'll order it for you. Maybe they might get it in the future. I don't know. I know the 2 comic book shops I work at, they don't own it there. So there's that. I said 2. I meant 1. I don't know why. I meant I am friends with 2 comic book shops here, and I don't fucking know. Anyway, and yeah, sorry, my brain today, anyway, so there is that. So in that thing, you have the One Above All, and the One Above All, it's the strongest character inside the Marvel Universe. I guess that's the best way to put it. I don't know. Sorry if I'm slowing down. I'm super, super tired. Like, I don't fucking know why. I'm just exhausted. Anyway, that thing is going to be going on. So, Eternity War, that's a possibility. Avengers Eternity Wars, or Eternity War. Sure, I guess, because even in that, Thanos gets enough power to equal power to the One Above All, the strongest Marvel character inside, I think, either the Marvel Universe or the Marvel Multiverse. I don't know. So, Eternity War nonetheless. Next up is Judgment Day? Maybe Avengers Judgment Day? That would be cool. A lot of people don't like the Eternals movie. I do. I thought it was fantastic. I loved how, in just the post-credit scene, we got a technical thing that I'm going to talk about next, which I will get to in a bit. So how they set up for that with, I forgot what his name, but the dude is going to be playing Blade in the MCU. There's going to be that. It's this whole thing. Ooh, sorry. Anyway, lunch. Anyway, so we could be seeing that with Blade and Black Knight, Dane Whitman. But in the Judgment Day storyline, we do see, and I guess now because of Deadpool 3, I can talk about this, and this would make more sense now for the MCU with Deadpool Multiverse. Anyways, I'll get to that later, probably. Yeah, I will get to that later. But one of the things you could talk about, one of the things that they could be setting up for that would make sense is Judgment Day, and Judgment Day is a current storyline, which is why I say Judgment Day, like as in a form of a question, because could it be popular enough in the future for them to go on and make a thing for it, like an Avengers movie, like Avengers Judgment Day, and have Avengers, X-Men, and Eternals in it? Or would that be too much like Secret Wars, or do you just want to condense the roster down and not have a big time roster of characters like Secret Wars, which is rumored to be the biggest movie, which I am actually going to be making a list at some point here in the future and doing that. So yeah, Judgment Day, it's a possibility. I'm really enjoying the storyline right now. If you haven't been reading Judgment Day, go on, read Judgment Day. It's been great. I've been loving it, so I'm just not really going to say too much about it because, of course, it's ongoing, and I don't want to spoil anything, so just Judgment Day, Avengers, Eternals, X-Men crossover, just long story short, the best way I guess I can say about it is for you to go on and read it, is basically the Eternals are wanting to kill the X-Men, but when I mean Eternals, I mean Druig. The leader of the Eternals is wanting to go and kill all mutants, aka the X-Men, and he's trying to manipulate the entire world into going to kill them all, to kill all the mutants, and the Avengers are trying to help the X-Men out. Basically, and that, and you have Jewig's grandfather Uranus. He plays a big role in that, and um, it's nuts. Like I said, I just don't want to go too into it with people. So just go and read it sometime. Next up, once again, going back to that whole post-credit scene in Eternals, the Midnight Suns. This is the one thing that I always go to, speaking of Werewolf by Night, Moon Knight, just fucking everything. Whenever someone says, I don't have faith inside, in the MCU, especially I didn't have it after Endgame, the Midnight Suns, so moving here to Delaware, ever since moving here to Delaware, I know more about comic books and whatnot than I have, once again, when I was a child. I didn't even know the MCU was the MCU until, like 2018, once Infinity War came out. But nowadays, I can gladly look at people and say, hey, we still have the Midnight Suns, which would be fucking phenomenal. And that's just one of the 3 groups, which 2 of them I'll be getting to hear soon. So there's that. Midnight Suns, basically, it's going. So as of right now, it's going to be turned into a video game, with like magic and Doctor Strange and Wolverine in it. And I know right now there's a Midnight Suns storyline going on, which I think Doctor Doom is in issue 2. I still need to read that. And I think some of the characters in that are like Blade and Wolverine, Ghost Rider, and just a bunch of things like that. So if we do get, of course the multiverse is a thing inside the MCU, so my prediction would be possible Nicolas Cage return as Ghost Rider. I'm not sure about that because of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so we could see the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. return Ghost Rider. Dude, but I don't know if he died in that or not, because I've never watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think I've watched like literally the very first episode, and that's it. That is all I've watched for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I really haven't watched much of it. Even though I say I've watched all the MCU stuff, but I don't know, it's confusing. Anyway, so there's Ghost Rider. I know as of right now you can have Wolverine because Hugh Jackman's returning as Wolverine. You could have Blade, the Black Knight, Moon Knight. You can have Doctor Strange. You can have Werewolf by Night. You can have a bunch of these characters be part of it, and maybe even Ironheart in it, and have Mephisto as the villain, because Mephisto is practically confirmed to be in the Ironheart Disney Plus series. I don't know too much about it. We could be getting in post-credit scene for Wakanda Forever, a thing for Mephisto, which if so, then I don't know why, like for Mephisto and Ironheart, which I don't know why yet. If we could have just had that as a surprise, I don't know. It could go on. We could have something else. I'm not sure. But anyways, Midnight Suns. I believe that could be a thing inside the MCU, and I think that would be a great way to do stuff with. Next up, another thing I always point to, because I don't know why the fuck this was even people were talking about this, but it's the A-Force. I mean, come the fuck on, people. If you watched Endgame, you watch all the women of the Marvel Universe show up, like, and team up together, that's basically indicating, hey, we're gonna do an A-Force movie in the future. And you don't know what the A-Force is, I just told you what the fuck it is, so I hope you know, but the A-Force is the Women's Avengers team, and with us having She-Hulk, and the way they're setting her up, even though she is like a fourth wall breaker, I think that in the comic books, in the A-Force series, She-Hulk is the main leader. Sorry, I have an itch on my hand. She is the main leader of the A-Force. So, I'm all super stuffy. Man, the fuck is wrong with me today? Anyway, it's like all the time I go to record a YouTube video and something's wrong with me. Anyway, depending on what it is, of course. Anyway, so she is like the lead person of the A-Force, like the leader of the A-Force, so you could have like Rescue and Shuri, Black Panther on there, Valkyrie, I guess you could put on there. Once again, She-Hulk, we could have had Jane Foster Thor, but if, once again, in Thor Love and Thunder, she died, so we can't. So there is that. It's just, I don't know, it's just stuff that we could do. We could have Ironheart, we could have Kate Bishop. There's just a bunch that we could do with the A-Force, and who would be the villain, I don't know. I really haven't read any of the A-Force, so if they at least go on and have a new A-Force comic book storyline, I will pick it up and read it, but really, because I can't find anything A-Force, I just don't really read it, and it's not necessarily on my to-read list, but oh well. Next up, World War Hulk. Once again, spoilers to She-Hulk, so if you haven't watched that, go watch that, get back to this video anyway, but if you have, then cool, whatever. But basically, or if you just haven't watched the MCU period and you really haven't had a reason to go on and watch it, then I'm just gonna spoil it for you. So in She-Hulk, you do get to see at the very end the Hulk come back from Sakaar with his son Scar. Scar, that rhymes. That it does. I've noticed it before. Anyway, so we could, and there is at least one untitled 2025 project for the MCU. So basically, it could be World War Hulk, a movie about that, because I know it takes place in Sakaar, and it's like Hulk gets mad or what the fuck ever, like something makes him pissed off, and he'll come back to Earth, and then he just goes on this rampage. Black Panther was in it, Iron Man was in it, I think Captain America was, but Hulk goes on, he fights his son Scar, and then they get into this huge battle. Like, it's big, like, basically just because he said, hey, I'm back from Sakaar with my son Scar. I believe he said Sakaar, I don't know, but he mentioned it, but we do see Scar in that, so now, I don't know if it's my glasses or it's the lens, but damn, something looks dirty. Anyway, we do basically get to see Scar inside the end of She-Hulk, so we could be seeing that. World War Hulk, at least. Possibly a movie, not really a Disney Plus show, but World War Hulk is 2025, that's my prediction. Oh, looks like it was just my glasses. Okay. Where was I? World War Hulk? Okay. Young Avengers is next. Now, of course, we're going to be getting the Young Avengers. We basically had Wiccan and Speed from WandaVision. Those were the first two. And there are rumors going along for Agatha Coven of Chaos that, along with Wiccan and Speed could be Order, but we could see Hulkling a part of that, of Agatha Coven of Chaos, and because there are rumors that Hulkling or Wiccan is going to be inside that. So there's that, at least. So Hulkling and Wiccan, so there's your three right there. Ironheart, probably, once again, she could, like her and Kate Bishop both, they can flip-flop between the A-Force and the Young Avengers. I don't know if you want to add Shuri onto that or not, but Shuri is, I don't know. It's up to you. It depends. She could be on the Young Avengers. She could be on the A-Force. It just depends, now, because she's Black Panther. I don't really know, because I don't even know if she's on the Avengers or not. I don't think she is, but there's that. But I know Kate Bishop you could definitely add onto the Young Avengers. Kind of same thing with Ironheart. Like, you can go on and you can add them inside of the MCU. And you could have that. So that's basically Young Avengers. Who would be the villain for that? I don't know. It could be part of Phase 6, so a King variant? Maybe not. I don't know. It's up in the air. Molecule Man, that really wouldn't fit. More of a Fantastic Four villain, if anything, because he is. But, I don't know. The villain would be kind of hard. Like, you would have to look deep inside the Marvel Universe to figure out who the fuck isn't inside the MCU that, people would love to see for a Young Avengers film, or would pose a threat to Young Avengers. So maybe Ultron, possibly have on Ultron return. That would be cool. But anyways, once again, Miss Marvel, absolutely. That's one thing I forgot to add for this list. Side note, still talking about Young Avengers, but with Miss Marvel, we have the Marvels coming up, and we could see a male Captain Marvel, which would be cool, but because multiverse and whatever, so there's that. But I think after the Marvels, we will see Miss Marvel go on and become a Young Avengers, so I think that could be what it is. Next up is the Multiversal X-Men. So once again, we have Hugh Jackman come back as Wolverine. I'm so glad to say that. I can't tell you. So there's that. And we could be seeing Deadpool part of that. I know we technically got Patrick Stewart as Professor X for Multiverse of Madness. But we could see something else. Like, we could see the X-Men 97. And then go on and see, something or another. I don't know. Like, you could go on, you could see, like, hey, like, remember X-Men 97? Yeah, they were going to become live action. That would be cool, but I don't know. Like, I'd rather see Evan Peters. By the way, Darmo's great. We were only on episode 2, my mom and I, but we're loving it so far. Anyway, but we could see Evan Peters as Quicksilver. That'd be cool, because I know Aaron Taylor Johnson with Sinister Six, which, fuck it, that's one thing I just gave away. So we could see Aaron Taylor Johnson's Kraven and Secret Wars, but we could also see, like, a little Evan Peters, Aaron Taylor Johnson, and it'll be like, hey, well, yeah, I'm Quicksilver, hey, and it could be, like, the technical multiversal Quicksilvers, but I don't know. We could see Aaron Taylor Johnson return as Quicksilver, but I don't think so. I think Kraven the Hunter would be better at that. But, yeah, so, Multiversal X-Men, just have the X-Men just from a different multiverse come into the MCU, and I'm having faith in Kevin Feige, because the next thing I want, I swear to fucking God, please Kevin Feige, give it to us. I speak for every single Marvel fan when I say we need a live-action Gambit. If we do not get Gambit as a live-action form inside the X-Men, then I think a lot of us are going to be pissed. Like, once again, going to that whole X-Men 97 being live-action, we could get a live-action Gambit, and that will be the first ever live-action Gambit. We've never gotten him inside the X-Men movies, not once. To go back and re-look at the casting list, like, trust me, we've never gotten a live-action Gambit. Like, if you haven't paid attention to that, or, like, until I just said it, and then you'll think to yourself, now, huh, that kid's right, I guess we never have gotten one. Shit, we need one. Yeah. Trust me, I didn't realize that at first either, until I was going back and I was watching someone make a X-Men MCU thing, and then they were like, yeah, we never got a live-action Gambit, and then I had to go back and I had to re-look, and I'm like, and think about some more, and I'm like, oh yeah, shit, he's right, we never did get a live-action Gambit. Live-action Gambit, for the love of God, Multiversal X-Men, just bring Gambit in. Live-action Gambit, just, I don't care. It could be the worst fucking person to play like Gambit in live-action form. A lot of people will be pissed. I don't care. I just want Gambit inside the MCU. Even if he comes in and he dies in Secret Wars in like 2 seconds, and they just say, hey, Gambit, and he's like, hey, what's up? It's like, oh, cool, Gambit. That's awesome. There's that. So, we just need live-action Gambit, for Christ's sakes. Like, it's, come on. Please, Marvel. Please give us live-action Gambit. Speaking of Secret Wars, next up, Beyond doing Secret Wars. Secret Wars, is, so okay, this is gonna get confusing. Secret Wars was made back in 1984 because of a toy line because Mattel bought the rights to make, Marvel toys. I thought Mattel, and I was thinking, oh, toy line WWE, and I was trying so hard not to say that. Anyway, so they bought the rights back then to make Marvel toys, and they wanted to sell this toy line called Secret Wars, but they didn't know how to do so, so they went over to Stan Lee or Marvel and whatever, and they were like, hey, we need a storyline, it's called, and then they were even trying to figure out this thing, because even back then, Marvel and Mattel didn't know what to call the line, but they did end up going Secret Wars, because back in 1984, they were like, Secret and Wars that's what the kids back in the 80s were buying, anything that had Secret, and anything that said Wars, so they were like, Secret Wars, whatever. So that storyline went on, the main villain of the Secret Wars storyline is Beyonder. Flash forward to 2015, I believe, God Emperor Doom got the powers of Beyonder. I don't know, but I know he did get the powers of Molecule Man. I still have to read that, but that's his own thing. But I would love to see live action Beyonder, even if it's like, hey, Doom, because as of right now, rumors are going on that Doctor Doom is going to be inside of Wakanda Forever. So there's going to be that. So you could go on and you could have Beyonder as a live action version as well, so we could have Beyonder and God Emperor Doom battle, and then even if God Emperor Doom kills Beyonder, or Beyonder kills Doom, and it's like, yo, guess what, bitches, I'm the new main villain of this movie. Just gives everyone the middle finger, like, hey, like, fight me, I dare you. So then everyone has to go on and fight the Beyonder, because he could be like, hey, I was the main idea behind this Battle Worlds thing. So there's that. I think that would be great. Or once again, even if he gets killed by God Emperor Doom, still love that too. God Emperor Doom is one of, if not Marvel's strong. No, that's not. Yeah, he's one of yeah. I'm saying like 20 things at once. He is one of Marvel's strongest characters, and though it's not even getting better, because as you can tell from the beginning to this video to now, like, it is getting scratchy and scratchy, and I don't have a fucking bottle of water beside me, because I'm an idiot. Anyway, I'll go on after, it's fine. Next up, so, before I go on to that, yeah, just Beyonder and Secret Wars, live action Beyonder, why not? I just want the MCU to expand, we just need more shit. So, come on, just... I've been putting out there the hashtag, like, hashtag expand the MCU, I guess. I don't know which, like, hashtag expand the MCU, I guess, is the way to put it, so, like, that, because to me, it's, you'll fucking know, hashtag expand the MCU, that, yeah, just, live action Beyonder and Secret Wars. Anyways, next up is Miles Morales MCU. Once again, one of the things I go around and I tell people, like, one of the first 3 things, actually. I know some of the shit that I say here and there, like, One Demand Nova is and plus that's because it's just rumors and whatever. But Miles Morales MCU, like, either the first or the second thing I say to people. I'm like, dude, we still need to get live action Miles Morales. In fact, Galactus and then Miles Morales is the 2 things I always go to first. I'm like, we need a live action Miles Morales. While yes, we do have, I'll get to that in a second. But we just need live action Miles Morales. Like, come on, like, it's just simple like that, you know? Like, we have the video games. He's been around for longer than 10 years by this point, like maybe even 12 years. So we just need him. He's popular enough. Just, if we could have a fucking black Ariel for the Little Mermaid, then we can have the goddamn Black Spider-Man inside the MCU, and no one's gonna get pissed at that. We even got a tease in Spider-Man No Way Home with Jamie Foxx's Electro going, man, there's gotta be a Black Spider-Man somewhere out there. Like, that right there is indicating, hey, we are going to be getting a live-action Miles Morales at some point. So, possibly in Secret Wars. If not, the next thing, Spider-Verse. Okay, so yes, we did technically... My hand is getting sore from all my phone. So technically, we did get a Spider-Verse thingy-majiggy inside the MCU with Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, you know, that whole Spider-Man thing. But we need more of that. Like, I'm talking Ben Reilly, Miles Morales, like I just mentioned, Spider-Gwen, so maybe Emma Stone from a different multiverse as Gwen Stacy comes on, she sees Andrew and her timeline, she could be like, oh my god, Peter, you're alive, and then he's like, Gwen, you're alive, because it's this whole thing, and then and then Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone's Peter and Gwen can reconnect, but this time as Spider-Man. It'll be like, what the hell happened to you? It'll be like, what happened to you? It'll be like, I got bitten by a spider. No, I did. And then it's like, oh yeah, that's right, multiverse, because I think by that point, Peter can go talking to Gwen about that, and she'll go, oh, that's cool. So, that'd be interesting to see. So we could see that. Superior Iron Man, no, not Superior, Superior Iron Man, yeah, but I meant Superior Spider-Man. I believe that's the one with Dr. Octopus as Spider-Man. I don't know, it's just a lot of Spirit Spider. So there's that, like Cyborg Spider-Man, even though it's one that's fuck it, Japanese Spider-Man. Like, he could legit come in, they could grab the fucking guy who played him, unless if he's dead. If so, just grab another Japanese dude, put him in the Japanese Spider-Man suit, and say, hey, let's bring in a giant fucking robot, because why not? Why the hell not? So, like, it's the MCU. People will enjoy fucking anything that you bring from comic books or other shit like that. Who knows that stuff? Like, just come on. Just anything at all. Spider-Man 2099, punk rock Spider-Man, anything. Just the Spider-Verse. Like, we need a solo Spider-Verse film. Please. That's it. Because the next thing I'm talking about, sticking with the multiverse for, like, the next few ones, kinda, it is the Sinister Six. We're getting a multiversal Sinister Six. We're getting a multiversal Sinister Six. We're getting a multiversal Sinister Six. I will say that until we fucking get it. Everyone is. Think about it. Tom Hardy's Venom. Michael Keaton's Vulture. Jared Leto's Morbius. Possibly Aaron Taylor Johnson's Kraven the Hunter. There are 4 people right there. We could be getting Paul Giamatti's Rhino. That's number 5. Hell, we could get the dude who played, I always forget his name for some reason, but the guy who played Harry Osborn in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, get him in there. Make him the guy behind it all. Make him be the leader of that Sinister Six and be like, hey, I was making a Sinister Six, so there's that. Or you could have 2 villains from Tobey's universe, 2 villains from Tom Holland's universe, and actually, no. Fuck. Because who's going to be the Spider-Man of that universe? Possibly Andrew Garfield. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Tom Holland. Tobey Maguire's just probably going to go, hey, I want to be maybe part of the next 2 Avengers film if King Dynasty is going to revolve around multiverse, and then that's going to be it. And a Spider-Verse film, I guarantee. But I don't think that he would want to be like, hey, I want to be here and I want to be the Spider-Man. Like, unless if they do Spider-Man 4 and say, hey, we need this to be part, like, I'm pretty sure that he would do it. I don't know. There's that. So, Multiversal Sinister Six, we're already getting the cast there now. We are getting them. We are getting the people. We could be getting the Scorpion in that, which I feel like could have been a great villain for Spider-Man 4, but I don't know, once again, what Tom Holland's doing with that yet. So, there's that. Next up, it is the, should I continue with sequels, or should I, actually, no, I'm gonna save that for a final Avengers film. Next up is the Negative Zone. So, this is the final 2 things I'm on. So, Negative Zone, right? The Negative Zone, I believe, is, like, where Dr. Doom, God Emperor Doom, gets his powers from in the comics. I don't remember quite frankly what it is. Do not remember at all. Not the slightest clue. But I do know that in the Secret Wars comic books, it was like the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man to go into the Negative Zone, and they were wearing these Negative Zone suits and whatnot. I think that we could be getting a Negative Zone, even if it's going to be in the Fantastic Four movie with Annihilus as the villain, because Annihilus is from the Negative Zone. So we could see Annihilus as the villain of Fantastic Four. Once again, I know I mentioned about Galactus and Silver Surfer earlier on in this video, because they could be the actual villains of Fantastic Four, but my prediction is still going with the Nihilist to open up to the negative zone, and then that's how we will get God Emperor Doom and whatnot, and maybe even a variant of King the Conqueror. So there could be the negative zone, and that's where they could banish God Emperor Doom at and just break the portal, unless if God Emperor Doom was like, hey bitch, you threw me in there, and I know I was only in there for 1 minute, but to me, that is 100 years. I don't know how time-space continuum works in that, but fuck it, let's just say that. And he's like, I figured out how to make a thing, a piece of technology to make me come back to this universe. And they're like, what the hell? Then you don't know how to beat him. Like, that would be cool, but just the negative zone. Like, guys, we could be getting the negative zone in here. So there's gonna be that, and then no, so that is a possibility. So it's a minor one, but it's a major one at the same time. And finally, the last thing, that if someone looked at me and I would tell them if they said I had no hope for the MCU after Endgame, the people still might say it if they watch this video, but maybe not. I don't know. Or if I was just having a full conversation like this with them, the one thing I would tell them is King in Black. One thing I've been calling for ever since Thor: Love and Thunder was King in Black. We do get the Necro Sword in Thor: Love and Thunder. It is destroyed, but I feel like somewhere in the multiverse we do get the man who wields the Necro Sword, and it is Null, the god of the symbiotes, or a form of the Necro Sword. So, Null, once again, he's the god of the symbiotes, so he goes on and he does, like, absorb around the multiverse, with, symbiotes, so he's basically the guy who created Venom and Carnage and all of that, so he could resurrect Carnage from the dead, even though Venom ate him. Venom could be like, holy shit, how the hell did you do that? He's like, well, bitch, let me tell you, I'm your god. And even in a post-credit scene for Venom Let There Be Carnage, I mean, sorry, not post-credit scene, a deleted scene for Venom Let There Be Carnage, Carnage was talking to Cletus and, not Scream, I forgot what her name is, but was talking to the other chick. It'll come to me at some point, then I'll be like, oh, that's right. Carnage's lover is Shriek. Okay, that's the only way I could remember that. I should say Cletus Cassidy's lover is Shriek, but anyway. But there's Shriek, so Carnage was talking to Cletus and Shriek, and he's like, hey, like, there's a god, and blah, blah, blah. So I think Thor: Love and Thunder, that could have been a great way to set up for that, and then we could have had Null come in, and then I thought that he was going to kill Gore, but that ended up not happening, but I still love the approach of where they went with that anyways. So I still loved both post-credit scenes. It's just, I think it was a little bit of a shame that we didn't get Null, but I think we will get Null at some point in the future. Maybe even if it is in Venom 3, but I think that's going to go to some sort of symbiote, like in the form of Lasher or Thrasher or someone, whoever his grandson, Venom's grandson is. I think it's Lasher. Anyway. And then post-credit scene, it would be Null, and then Venom would have to go to some sort of Spider-Man out there in the multiverse, or all of them, because Madam Web is a thing as well. We are getting a Madam Web project. And we are getting a Madam Web project at some point inside the MCU. So, there's that. Anyway, yeah, Avengers King in Black. That's basically what I was trying to say. We could be getting Avengers King in Black, and Avengers King in Black is once again could be surrounded by that, and we can see Null with all of his. I never read King in Black, but just from the images that I saw. Yeah, there's that. Anyway, yeah. So guys, if once again, this video is for people who had doubt in the MCU after Endgame. If you're watching this and you are a comic book fan, let me know if I missed anything. Once again, I just try to narrow it down. I know that there is so much more. Trust me, I know there is so much more. I just thought of the first things that came to my mind when I was making this list. trust me, there's so much more. Like, I didn't even get to talk about like Predator and Alien and that shit. Even though that's not gonna be MCU canon, that's more or less multiverse. I didn't even talk about their storylines right now. I didn't even talk about other storylines that are going around right now. I didn't even mention about fucking Miracle Man, which I just did. But anyways, there's just so much more. And there were also some other Spider-Man villains which I believe could be in the MCU at some point in the future that, once again, I just didn't get to talk about. And just some other likely stuff. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Once again, those of you Marvel fans, let me know if I missed everything. Even though, once again, I just said, I know I did. I know. But, anyways, like, just give me your personal opinions, I guess. And for those of you who don't know much about comic books, but you do know the stuff about Disney Plus and then the movies, who had doubt after Endgame, then please just comment down below. Let me know what you thought. If you actually now have hope, if you still have hope, if you don't have hope. Anyway, there's just so much more, like I said, that could still be going on. Anyways, if you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, give it a like. Once again, comment down below. Let me know that whole thing, whether you're a fan of the comic books and I missed some stuff, even though I did, or give me your personal opinions, I guess. And then people who don't like the comic books or don't really read the comic books too much, and only watch the MCU movies, and you now know, oh, so they still have things going on because Marvel has way more going on than what I just said. Way more. So there's that. And once again, there's still some comic book series in there that I haven't mentioned yet. Anyways, guys, also, make sure to subscribe. I'm going to be doing some more Marvel stuff, more Marvel content here in the future. I'm also going to be giving, at some point, my Black Adam review. I did go see the movie in theaters. It was awesome. But, like, I loved it. It's my new favorite DC movie. But I'm probably going to go see it with my mom's boyfriend at some point, with all three of them. Because I saw it with my mom, but not a boyfriend, because he's not into... That's a mess. Anyways, I don't know, I'm probably going to go see it again, and then that's when I'll give you my review on it. So, thumbs up, subscribe for more Marvel content. Once again, the next thing I'll be working on is a dream roster for Secret Wars, which is going to be the biggest MCU movie, so there is that, so I'll be making a video on that, and then, yeah, and then, once again, subscribe for that, and then comment down below, let me know all that fun jazz, and give this video a like, so it could show up with people whenever they search in like future of the MCU or whatever. So hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.